Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and today we are going to be going over teams for the new Mythic troop, Worldbreaker. He's in Glory Gem Guild VIP chest this week only, and then he'll be in the drop pool with all of the other Mythics. He is a Dragon Centaur from Divinian Fields. Pretty interesting combination. Will be good with the Dragon Hero class, will be good with the Centaur Hero class, and surprisingly also pretty good with Bard. Just because of how strong Bard is these days. So let's get into some teams then. As far as what he does, he has a static 18 gem explosion that he does to the board, pretty similar to that to a fully upgraded Gorgolfa. And on top of that, it also deals damage to all enemies. Of course, that is a lot of ability. That ability, not seeing its mana cost, is ridiculously strong. Though you then see his mana cost, and then it's like, oh, okay, never mind. But yes, it is a 32 mana cost. He is ridiculously hard to get going, but once he gets started, he is pretty much auto-win. He's one of pretty similar to that of like Eldamagrim, Web Spinner, stuff like that. Basically, once they get going, they just automatically win the battle, assuming that they can still keep looping. Worldbreaker is no exception. He's another one of those kind of endless loop kind of troops that if it's not stopped by freeze or by other means, it will basically just instantly win the game once it starts rolling. He even has a trait that synergizes pretty good with that. The fact that every single extra turn he gets, he's getting additional stats, and that is relatively potent on magic, since he can just randomly gain an additional 4 damage to all enemies, 16 total damage out of nowhere just from a single extra turn. Not to mention, of course, that can trigger multiple times if you just keep taking extra turn to extra turn, back to back to back. As far as his other traits, not too noteworthy. Devour, of course, immune to Devour. A lot of things are getting that recently just to kind of kill down the Kraken usage and stuff like that. And Infernal Armor, I have tried everything to try to use this guy. In first slot, I have been unsuccessful with literally everything. Even Emperina and like Red Spam and a bunch of other stuff. I haven't been able to make him work in first slot yet, though he is technically supposed to kind of be a first slot troop. The main reason for this is that he is somewhat durable, and he gets that 25% skull reflect, and he keeps getting random stats, and assuming he's in first slot, he actually gets to use every single random stat he gains. Personally, I've not been able to make him work. I've been using him mainly as exclusively as a third and fourth slot, pretty much. But anyways, let's get into some teams with him. And not starting with this, I'm actually going to be starting with the budget team this time around. I did make a budget team. I do like to try to do these. Generally, whenever I make Mythic videos, I do tend to lean them more towards late game, because obviously Mythic troops, they're very rare, and most end game people are going to be the ones that get them, not early game people for the most part. But there are some people out there that do need budget teams to really work. And this is one that I found to be pretty potent. Actually, it's almost better than some of the other ones I'm going to be showing. But yeah, Alchemist, which is only a rare. The only trait you need on him is second trait or no traits at all, but ideally his second trait. This is Azura. You get her for free from the most recent kingdom, and you don't even need a single trait on her. But yeah, you just get her for free, complete out the questline from Melantis, and then boom, you got her. So no traits even needed. This guy, 0 traits. Of course, assuming you have him, you'd be needing to build him into a team, so this is what you use him with. And Firebomb, which is a common. Even at this exact moment in time, you can get him from Glory Rewards too, but even if not, basically everyone is going to have a Firebomb, and you'd want to get him fully traded for that Empowered. But yeah, there you go. A rare, a free troop from a quest line, and a common. And you only need second trait, 0 traits, 0 traits, and fully traded, which is pretty easy to do. So yeah, pretty nice budget team. Works for what it needs to do. Basically what you do is just loop back and forth the Azura into the Worldbreaker, and then you just auto-win through that. And one pretty nice thing about this, other than the fact of Alchemist, initially when you start the battle, once you start getting the Azura into the Worldbreaker loop going, you never need to worry about losing your turn for the most part, like freeze and stuff like that. Because explosion, it just explodes. You don't really need to worry if it actually lands that extra turn or not, because it's still going to do enough impact that it doesn't matter if it does. If it does, then yes, that's beneficial, of course, but if it doesn't, that's not really going to make or break. Hey, there's the double arcane. I've been wondering where all those been. Too bad that wasn't a triple if we were using a pure red right now. But yeah, that event's still going on. I haven't done a video specifically over it, but for any of you that haven't seen it yet, might as well go over that real quick. For the holidays, for Thanksgiving, Black Friday and all that kind of stuff, they did do a event thingy where if you kill any team that has a MOA in it, you get a free trait stone, and that combined with using a pure red team, wherever that is, you end up getting 3 trait stones per battle right now. But anyways, back into showing more teams. Oh, by the way, one thing I forgot to mention. What is Worldbreaker really bad against? Mana Drain. Mana Drain, Freeze, and Web. Though Web is basically non-existent in the game right now, so basically Mana Drain and Freeze. Particularly Mana Drain. I almost feel like skipping this one, but we'll give it a shot, and we'll see what happens after. So here is, of course, a little bit more towards the expensive side, but still along the same premise, except based on extra turning, which is a little bit annoying against a Mana Drain. We could get completely wrecked here, though, in all honesty, I would not ever really bother running this guy against Mana Drain. He does not perform well. Really, any troop that ever gets a really high mana cost like him, they are not going to function against Mana Drain. It's just not really something that they're meant to do. One of the whole points of Mana Drain is to counter out things like pretty much what we're trying to do now. But we'll see if we can get it working, and if not, we'll go find a non-Mana Drain to go through this against. Ideally, of course, first thing we'd want to do is Farce Troll into just going crazy. We can then Farce Troll into a Sea Troll loop, and then kind of go from here. So we will have to play it a little bit towards the slower side just to kind of delay it out, get what we need, and kind of just let him do his whole thing. And I think we finally got it now. Of course we'd get 0 Surge. Wow. 0 Surge. We had an opportunity to come back there, and he surges. Come on, where's all the Surge? Famine doesn't have the reduction anymore, and you never had it. Well, he's going to get that off. I don't have any way to take mana. This is not looking that good. And speaking about not being able to take mana, good job, Scion. Doing your role very well. At least he's entangled now. So unless he 4 times the skull, he's not going to get the drain, though he still has his ability drain. So we'll have to worry about that instead. That blue I'm just going to keep there. Actually, you know what? Skull here. I just need to kill that out at this point. I think is going to be the easiest strategy at this point, because it's not looking good. Hey, 1 HP. That's all we need, though. If he can survive with 1 HP, that is plenty. Though he probably won't to a soon-to-occur Spirit Fox. Ooh, please surge. If you're going to surge anytime, now is the time. Thank you. Okay. Oh, no. No. Rematch. Fine, be like that. Here is a non-mana drain team. Okay, so let's get it going this time and not completely fail. So let's move that over and just get the initial mana that we really need to start get going. We're just going to let him take the skull. Don't really need to worry about them. If they have anything too intimidating like a Scion and stuff, we can of course take that skull so they don't end up doing their ability or on skull effect or anything like that. Just need to go and try accumulating the full mana and basically just go from there. So let's just try getting either Sea Troll or the Farce Troll up. Looks like this time around we are going for the Sea Troll, and we do land partially and we do get the full landing. Right here, only 10 green, so I am going to double that instead. We do land it because the double. Throw that down, and yeah, this is basically when we just never end our turn at this point. So let me take that real quick. And that is, of course, the whole premise basically of this troop is to keep it on your turn forever and never let it go. And just win out that way. Of course, every single extra turn we are getting here is giving him 4 to a random stat. Ideally, of course, since we're using him in last slot, we're going to want that to hit magic. Of course, we have no effect on it hitting magic. It's completely random. But if it does, that makes for a pretty big impact. And that's essentially what it does. As you can see, against Mana Drain, doesn't really get to do that. Against everything else, it does. Freeze and Mana Drain are definitely extremely hard counters to this team, and is not really advised to work against it. And because I have been wanting to use it in a pure color team, there's 2 colors I feel like it would work best in pure color. Then again, really all of them, because green, it might work with a web spinner infinite loop. I would just need to make it a slightly different variant, of course, what we're using. Basically what we're already using, minus the Farce Troll, was basically it already. But I wanted to try finding one for yellow and red too. Red, I tried experimenting some with Infernus. Didn't really work out that well, mainly because it was hard to get the initial kill. This anything with Worldbreaker, I feel like, doesn't have really high initial impact, but it has really high impact as you move through the battle. But yeah, that's basically what I want to do with this. Basically just get a nice humility, get them buffed up, get the Hellcat to just follow up, and kind of just go crazy from there. And this is pure color, which is really nice, since we could, if we so choose to use it on a yellow day. So move that over, move the skull, take some reds. Actually, couldn't I have taken that for skull? Well, at least we got more mana out of it. And yellows, why are you not anywheres? As long as he doesn't get a mercy to land, that's fine. You know what, I might still take the skull, just so he gets less cascade from it. And I'll be able to take away a yellow pair from him. Actually, double yellow pair. Because if I leave that there, he gets that yellow pair, and then that yellow pair that will fall down. So, yeah, we actually are going to go for that skull. And he doesn't actually go for his ability. I was kind of hoping he would. It would have helped us some. Well, just going to go for that, get our manas. He has a little pair there, not really much to concern ourselves with, though. And can we do anything now? Yellow, obviously, but last resort. Is that really what we have to do now? Apparently. I will do it for it. Not obviously as a pure yellow team. One of the last colors we'd want to aim it at. Ideally, what we want to try doing with this team is spam humility on yellow-red every single time. It's not always going to work that way. So plan B is Dawnbringer into our Worldbreaker, into basically another Worldbreaker. And that looks like it's going to be our end goal here. So we'll get our barriers, keep ourselves protected, get our damage, get our explosion. And no cascades whatsoever. He did get pretty much half his mana back from that, though. So it's at least one thing in our favor. Let's see. Can we get this yellow to red? Let's hope so. A little bit of progress there. Not really as impactful as we could hope for. Looks like at this point we basically just get his mana up one more time and then just wipe out that way will be the end goal here. So we'll take a red, get that up a little bit more. One more red surge will be enough to full mana him. And did we give him brown? I don't think there's really any downside to that. Oh, one mana off? Oh, I guess I didn't set the banner to what I thought I did. Apparently. Well, we can't take a purple to get that up. We can't take a red to get him all the way to full mana. So it looks like we just take a 1 damage short skull poke. That does not look worth it. So we'll just take a yellow there then. Still. Oh no, there we go. Take our little bit of red. He'll get a little bit of value there, but as long as he doesn't revive, don't really need to worry about it. Wow, he got a burn kill. But look there, 67 damage, and we get it as a refire. That is the big impact that he gets. It can become some pretty ridiculous numbers once he gets going there. Personally, my feelings from using him so far, though, is he takes... I don't know. I feel like most battles I try using him in, he gets too slow of a start for what I normally want to do. You have to really commit your team to getting this guy to full mana. Basically, everything on your team has to be geared towards getting this guy to full mana, which is what this budget team was actually made for doing. I just wanted to basically, single thing. Alchemist gives him yellow. This, well, good feeds into Alchemist, and whatever doesn't feeds right into him. And Bomba, immediate mana right off the starting board. And that's basically the whole premise of how you need to build him in almost every single team. Just whatever gets him mana the absolute quickest. Because once he gets going, you're pretty much good to go for the rest of the battle. Particularly with this, since we can just loop it back and forth. I might actually need to start making non-budget teams out with this thing. Yeah, this is actually a really, really solid combo. Azura plus Worldbreaker. That's pretty much your entire team right there. Everything else is just support. Whatever other two troops. Oh, come on, 1 mana short. But whatever else you put with it, just support. Yeah, I think I'll be using more towards this variant, I think. From what I can see. Yeah, because you get the stat reduction, you get the stats increases, you don't need to worry about freeze, which is nice. The only thing you still have to worry about is mana drain, but hopefully something like an Alchemist or Bomba and stuff like that can speed through quick enough that you don't need to worry about mana drain. So once again, the budget team coming in to actually be one of the better teams, surprisingly. So yeah, if you happen to find yourself one, that might be one of your best bets. Kind of just build it with Azura and then just build support troops around that. Doesn't have to be those exact troops with it, but Azura plus Worldbreaker does appear to be, from what I can tell so far, one of the better possible combos with him. But anyways, guys, that is the new Mythic. We will be streaming him for the next 2 days with a bunch of various teams, probably with pure dragons, probably with some pure centaurs, probably with more bard teams, messing around with them, seeing what we can do. Maybe we can make him work with even more. But yeah, we'll be doing that as our normal times, as always, with redeem codes and stuff on Friday and Saturday, today and tomorrow, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to come and join us, feel free to do so. If you still have any other questions, feel free to leave in the comment section below. and I hope you all have a wonderful holidays and a good weekend. Goodbye, everyone, and I'll see you all later.